how long is that going to be empty? How much money is that costing them because they didn't think far enough ahead? Hi everybody, Neil Winterreich here with Matterhorn Business Development. Welcome back to the Newsroom. I am joined with my guest, Abby Johnson, also with Matterhorn Business Development. Welcome, Abby.
Thanks.
I think this is our third or fourth video together now.
Yeah.
So today we are going to talk a little bit more about the retail apocalypse that is going on. This is a hot topic that people have been interested in. We've talked about it 3 or 4 times in a few different ways. And I just saw an article yesterday that talked about the mall of the future.
Oh.
There's a lot of malls, the mall of the future is being talked about right now. So there's an article right now in Forbes that says the future of the shopping mall is not about shopping. And it actually goes on to talk about how there's a new mall in Toronto that is going to dedicate 24,000 square feet to they're calling it a creative space. A creative active space, I guess.
Okay.
Anyway, it's gonna have all sorts of like circusy type things to do, play parks,
wow,
all sorts of stuff to do. But the point is that malls are now going to be guiding themselves towards experiences where shopping is an add-on thing.
Yeah.
But it's really about the experience and the idea. And this is what we've been talking about for a little while. I'm still waiting for somebody to put a go-kart track in, like I mentioned in the very first
I like
retail apocalypse video
Someone
that we did.
Probably will.
Dude, I think it's a smart idea.
Yeah.
I'd go to the
You
mall.
should get a cut though, is your idea.
I have so many ideas I need to get cuts on. So we've talked a little bit about this, and I think that not every business is totally affected by Amazon, but there are a lot of businesses that have been affected by Amazon.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, they're doing billions of dollars worth of business. It had to be coming from somewhere. It's not like they created a new space. It's just people are not buying stuff on Amazon than these other places.
Right.
But I think that the mall is never going to disappear. I think just our viewpoint of the mall and our perception of what the mall is all about is going to change.
For sure.
And I think that moving towards interactive, creative things, go-karts, water park, anything like that. And I even heard that Westfield is now installing these giant like 3D and VR experiences in their malls. So apparently you're going to be able to like experience Star Wars in like a full 3D environment.
I'm down for that.
And I think that that's cool as long as the 3D is good. Like 3D technology 10 years ago was so bad that it was like, this is crap, right?
Well, so our local mall in Clearwater is a Westfield mall.
The Countryside Mall, yeah.
And it was kind of dying, and then
dying.
I guess it's been a while,
It's been 5-6 years now.
They installed a movie theater, which helped revive it. They added an addition with restaurants. And then they also added a Whole Foods. So they really are working on revitalizing, and they have, but somehow Sears still went out of
Sears was in the middle of all of
business, literally surrounded by tons of people, packed. Whole Foods is packed.
The
movie
quickest
theater
way
is packed.
into the new addition was through Sears.
Yeah,
and
but
you had
they
to walk
still went
through
out of
it.
business.
Yeah.
So that kind of says, though, that's a good point of showing that they were doing something wrong. It wasn't that they didn't have people there. They were doing something wrong with those people. Because even me, I'd walk through this Sears and it felt kind of gross.
I never had the urge to buy anything.
Yeah, it was not
through.
a pleasant experience to walk through Sears. It's unfortunate, but that's the truth. But our mall also has a tattoo parlor. You can get your nails done. So I do think the experience-driven thing.
I think the experience-driven and the markets that we've talked about before are what's going to really start to bring people in.
Right.
But it's just an idea of changing our perception of something that is already there, right?
Yeah.
And I talked about it in the last video. If we don't put something new into this mall that actually is interesting to people, then we're just going to have these giant empty, hundreds of thousands of square feet of empty space.
Right. Which is already happening. We're seeing that all over
But now we can start to fill it with something, and it doesn't have to be retail.
Yeah, it's
which
true.
I think is smart, because now it's about an experience. Imagine you go to the mall, you get dinner, you see your movie, and then you go and play on the Jungle Gym or the 3D experience or
this is
a market or anything.
It's just a natural progression. Like at one point in time, malls didn't exist, and when they did start forming, it was like, whoa, I can go to one place and go to all these stores, and it was like this huge deal.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of the natural evolution of where everyone's kind of like can do that online.
Yeah.
So now you have to go there for things you can't do online, which is playing on a jungle gym.
Experiences.
Yeah.
Like theme parks, they don't have competition other than another theme park.
Right.
But there's Busch Gardens in Tampa, and then the only other competition they have is Orlando.
Right.
So it's not really competition.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, people get all freaked out about competition and changing of markets, but you have to change with it a little bit. And I think that the malls are finally catching on to that.
Yeah.
The problem is they're about 5 years too late.
Yeah, they're going to have to roll out quickly to kind of like make
there's
up
pictures
for
in
happening.
here for Westfield's Mall of the Future for 2028.
Ooh, that's a long time away. They're going to be dead by then.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
long.
They didn't change quickly enough to go with this. And the Sears at our Westfield is still empty.
Right.
How long is that going to be empty? How much money is that costing them because they didn't think far enough ahead?
And I think this is part of what we talk a lot about here about basic purpose is if Westfield was thinking with their purpose of how can we give the best experience to our shoppers, they would have started thinking about this 5 years ago, and they would have already had the Mall of the Future now, and they would have helped save a lot of stores. So it's great that they're scrambling, but it might be too late. I mean, or they're going to have a bunch of dead space in a revival in 8 years or 9 years, but they're gonna lose some money.
For sure, and that's what I say is that if they had us or somebody like me actually looking at the statistics for the last several years, we would have been seeing this coming much sooner.
Right.
And it wouldn't have just been like, well, it's an anomaly, or well, you know, people are just buying stuff online anymore, there's nothing you can do. Like, no, there's always a way to bring people in.
Always.
Who says that the mall can only be there for a retail purpose? I mean, let's look at something like Armature Works down in Tampa here.
Yeah.
Great place to go, all sorts of restaurants. There's 1 or 2 little shops in there.
Yeah.
But who's to say that they couldn't have had 1 less restaurant and 1 extra shop that can also benefit from all the foot traffic and, you know, stuff like that.
And they do hold markets there.
Well, Armature Works is doing great. I mean, I'm just saying, people have to think ahead on all this stuff.
Right.
Shopping doesn't have to be the only reason that you go to the mall, because if it isn't, you just don't go there very often.
Well, and I almost wonder, I don't know if this is what happened, but I think at like Westfield and the companies actually own the mall space, they might think, well, it's out of our hands. Sears isn't doing well, Macy's isn't doing well, what can we do? But they can do something. It is in their control to start getting other kinds of businesses, like a tattoo parlor, into their mall. I think that's genius.
I've never really seen a tattoo parlor at a mall.
I've never seen it.
And I think it's risky for Atomic Tattoos to even have thought that that was a good idea. But who knows?
But they're a brand around Tampa. So like when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, I know Atomic Tattoos. I would feel safe going there. If it was like
Joe's
dirty,
Tattoos.
yeah, and it was like dirty, like bikers only there, maybe I would be a little more
And they probably wouldn't have moved into the mall because, No, I understand. I think people just have to think with changing of the times and figuring out how you can continue to deliver your product even though times are changing, instead of just throwing in the towel. And I feel like so many places are just throwing in the towel.
Now I have one more thing that you would like. I actually have never told you about this. So in Idaho, where my husband is from, we went to a mall there, and the mall is basically dead. Like, it's not very active. There's a Joann's.
Because there's not a lot going on in Idaho anyway.
Yeah, but there is this cigar place.
Nice.
And the owner, we talked to the owner, and he gave us a tour, and he actually now has a room, like a smoking lounge. He has a membership. He has a special back door his members get to use after hours.
Because, I was going to say, if the mall closes, you can't go in and smoke your cigars.
But he has it all set up so that even though most of the mall is dead, he's still succeeding. Busy. And he's still bringing people in because he made it an experience, and he loves what he does. He loves the different stuff you put. What's the stuff you put in a pipe?
Tobacco.
There we go.
At the tobacco store.
Yeah. I was just thinking cigars. Okay, we're gonna rewind that a little.
No, it's good. Keep going.
So he's very passionate about tobacco and helping you find the right kind of tobacco. So he had the purpose of like, I want to help people have the best smoking experience they can. That sounds kind of weird, but you're a cigar guy, so you know.
Yeah.
But there's someone who's doing it in a dead mall.
Well, here's another thing. Let's look back really quickly that I was going to say, and this is going longer than we thought it was going to right off the bat. But let's just say somebody like Sears realizes that foot traffic is going down in their mall. Because we were saying the mall is just the vendor for these spaces, and they can't control how many people come into Sears and buy stuff, right? But imagine if I'm Sears and I want to figure out how to get more people to come in. What if I eliminate a piece of the store that does nothing for us anyway, and add something experience oriented?
Like if you had a kids play zone.
That's what I'm gonna say.
And
like,
then the parents could be shopping and the kids
and you got like somebody there watching the kids, make sure nothing goes wrong. But like, why don't people think of this? It's just so far, it's just a little outside of the box that they can't even conceive of it.
Right.
And I think that that's part of the downfall of everything. If I'm in these big stores, I would look a way to make this experience better at the shop. To bring more people in. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But anyway, the Mall of the Future is right around the corner in 8 years. And although some are updating things now, I'm just saying 2028 is too long.
Right.
But we'd love to hear your thoughts. And the retail apocalypse is not really the retail apocalypse. It's really a change. In
Let's turn it into a renaissance.
Yeah, the retail renaissance with go-kart tracks.
Yeah.
If I had a go-kart to go do my shopping in, I would go every week to buy crap. Can you imagine a go-kart with a little basket on it? You know what I mean? Like, what? Come on. Anyway, stuff like that would be great, but the liability insurance. See, that's what kills everything. The lawyers. Yeah. Anyway, we will see you next week on the Business Newsroom. Have a good week. Hit subscribe down below. Give us a thumbs up. Leave us a comment. I want to hear more from you guys about what your thoughts are in this part of the retail renaissance, as we're going to call it. So we'll see you next time.